Here's the key, instant potato flakes. You could make these gnocchi, get them in the pot, and get this dinner on the table in less than an hour. So this is really simple. First thing I want to do is hydrate the instant potatoes. Just a couple cups of water. We got 2 cups of potatoes, equal parts water. Just give that a stir. Make sure there's no dry flakes in there, dry clumps. Spread it out a little bit and let it cool off. We're going to be putting eggs in that later, so it should be cool. Our potatoes are cooled down. It's basically the potato flakes, but instant mashed potatoes. Now to make the gnocchi, we only have 3 more ingredients to go in here. These are so easy. Make sure your potatoes are cool. We have flour, some salt, got a fair amount of salt with any time you're cooking with potatoes, 2 eggs. And we're just gonna mash this together until it makes a nice cohesive dough. All right, I'm gonna turn this out here. So make sure that the hydrated potatoes are cool enough to touch with your hand. If they're too hot, if you haven't waited long enough and you put the egg in there, you're gonna scramble a little bit of that egg, and we're not looking for carbonara here, we're looking for gnocchi. This is how easy this dough is. Now I wanna divide this into 4 portions, and we'll work with 1 portion at a time to cut and form our gnocchi. So these extra pieces, just throw a towel over them to keep them from drying out and getting crusty on the edges. If it's a little sticky, just add a little more flour. We roll this out into an even cylinder, about 18 inches long, about 3/4 of an inch thick, and then we're gonna cut 1/2 inch pieces. Keep them floured so they don't stick. So now the telltale pattern on gnocchi, the fork. We'll just put it right over the top and roll it over. Make some indentations there. This is much like a rough pasta where the sauce is gonna sit in those little pockets. If your fork starts to stick, just dip it in the flour. So now the gnocchi are all formed, ready to cook and throw this dish together. It's very fast. First, boiling pot of water, a good tablespoon or so of salt. I'm gonna cook half of the gnocchi first. Now these only take about 2 minutes. They're gonna float to the surface, but we definitely wanna cook them long enough that the egg gets cooked through and they set up. So they may pop up to the surface really quickly, but it's a good idea to leave them in the simmering water for another minute or 2 to make sure that they're cooked all the way through. They may cook around the outside, which makes them buoyant, but if they're not cooked through, you bite into them, they're gonna be kind of raw, and we don't wanna bite into like a pasty dough in the center. All right, I'm gonna just spoon these out, let them drain right into the bowl, and they can sit and wait for the other half of the gnocchi to cook. Second half of the gnocchi going right in. Second batch is cooked, floating there for a minute or 2. Now I'll take a little bit of this cooking water, just in case we need to thin out that sauce, have that on standby, and just toss. Those hot gnocchi will thin out the pesto a little bit, but it's still got nice texture. It's clinging beautifully. But if it seems a little bit thick and gloppy, you can just pour on a little bit more of the cooking water. But this, to me, looks pretty great. This dish is a winner. And a little more pecorino over the top. So that is it. That is a beautiful, impressive dish that you'd pay a lot of money for at a restaurant, but you can make for a lot less money at home. That bright lemon